So what I'm going to be talking about today is buyer stage scoring. So we, as a generally in favor of content marketing, we approach things from a buyer's perspective of where they actually are in a buyer stage. So you can imagine we have three. We call it ARC scoring. So awareness, research, and consideration. This is from a buyer's perspective, not necessarily from how you categorize your own funnel. So awareness is awareness of a problem. So an example of that is that my marketing sucks. It's not effective, it's not working. I know that it's not working, but I don't know how to solve it, and I haven't really considered what to do about it yet. So this is the kind of people who are coming in on search queries saying, what's wrong with my marketing? I'm doing kind of collateral marketing before. And so we have people in awareness. Research is considering what the possible options of solving the problem are. So I'm aware that my marketing sucks. Now what can I do about it? That would be marketing automation. You should do buyer persona profiling. You should do all these other actual strategies and initiatives to fix your actual problem. And then consideration, when you get into consideration, is the easiest to define between the three, and that is things such as, okay, I know that I need marketing automation, I know that I need a content matrix, and I need to actually map out an entire user experience for my site. And so what that looks like is, am I going to do it in-house? Am I going to do it through an agency? Am I going to do it through a consultancy? So this is how we guide and actually drive all of our marketing, is from these three actual stages, ARC stages. And so what we say is, when someone comes to our site, this is an assumption, but when someone comes to our site, because we're doing content marketing, we assume that they come in on queries and in an awareness stage, which is very top of funnel in terms of the actual buyer stage. That is, they're aware of problems. And so we say it is our personal goal to educate you through nurture, through our actual email offers, through our website offers, through remarketing. We're going to educate you along the path and logic you into buying our actual product. So when you're in awareness, we say you come in here and you start out with 0. These are all scores. So score of awareness is 0, research 0, consideration 0. You come in and you visit our homepage. We say, okay, you get 10 points for visiting our homepage. We'll consider that awareness. And then you go and you poke around, and then you look at probably our separate contact us page, our leadership page, and then we get you another 20 points. And then you start to download our actual pieces of content, and we give you research points. You probably get 40 points from all of that. And what these do is these separate scores just increment slowly. So imagine taking behavior scoring and then chunking it into actual awareness, research, consideration. So you take the entirety of your website, and then you group all of your pieces of content, all of your URLs, all of your emails into either awareness or research or consideration. And then you have trigger programs running for things like a high-value page visit, a standard page visit, and then something like a PDF click or email clicks. So these are the actual triggers that run and increment these scores every single time. So once you go through and look at the entirety of your website, you can see that you need specific research content, or you need consideration content, or maybe awareness content. But once you have these programs running, then you can actually say anytime someone visits a certain page, they get a certain score in either awareness, research, or consideration. And then on top of this, once you have enough data, then you can actually have a segmentation of your entire database, and then you can group people into either awareness or research or consideration. The way that this works is it takes these scores and then it computes against an arbitrary threshold. So as I said before, we assume that you're in awareness. So if you have 0 to 99 points in awareness, we actually consider you awareness. And then it becomes a cascading logic. So this takes your entire database and then segments it into a comprehensive amount of points. So first consideration is the actual score, and if the consideration score is greater than or equal to 100, which is this arbitrary threshold right here, then we're going to put you into consideration. So the reasoning for this is that in an actual consideration of buyer stage, you don't go from, if you're in consideration, you don't move backward into research. You don't move backward into awareness. So what we want to do is take the rightmost score that is greater than the arbitrary threshold. So in this case, this individual who has 45 in awareness, 140 in research, and then a consideration of 105, even though research is a greater point value than consideration, we actually group them into consideration. So then we have research here, which is what I'm talking about, and then awareness as the final consideration. So this kind of logic, you fit into the first category. So we say rightmost here is if your consideration score is greater than or equal to 100, we'll group you here. Otherwise, we check and see if your research is 100 or greater, and then otherwise we go into awareness, which is greater than or equal to 0, to get a comprehensive picture. And what this does, after you build up the numbers over time, is that you can see where your actual people are, not just in a behavior score, but actually by taking all of your content and grouping it into these categories. So you can say, maybe if there's an enormous amount of people in awareness and you just have a small score and a big bunch of people here, then that becomes a problem that guides what your actual efforts are next. So then you say, we have a bunch of people only in awareness and they have no research or consideration scores, so then we need to actually figure out how not just to generate leads, but how to nurture them into these other stages. And this also, as I said, this is how we guide all of our marketing initiatives, is we say, in every single marketing piece that we do, we say where are they right now in their own buying stage, and then we layer in our own important elements, such as what's the buyer persona, what is their pain point or product interest, and then we design our marketing around this. So this actually maps very closely to what our actual lead nurture strategy becomes, because we have 3 separate streams for each of these computed buying stages. So if you're in awareness, we're going to give you awareness pieces of content, because we need to educate you more about what you're doing right now doesn't work and why it doesn't work. And then the point is to eventually layer in emails based on these triggers that move people and get them to accumulate more points and more points based on our nurture, not just email, but also on domain, using real-time personalization and remarketing. The point is to move people when they're in awareness, feed them research content. And then from this, they'll gather points and eventually be moved into this stream. And then when you're in the research stream for email marketing, we say we're going to give you some research pieces, a lot of depth, and then we're slowly going to layer in actual consideration pieces. So we're trying to get, again, when you're in research, we're trying to move into this next stage. And from this actually guides the entirety of our marketing systems and our marketing efforts, just by running from the numbers, using buyer stage scoring and getting a comprehensive idea of what your actual lead database looks like.